Good morning, everybody. It's time for your Farm and Ranch News, and today we're producing another feature from this week's Montana and Wyoming Malt Barley and Sugar Beet Growers Symposium, which took place Tuesday and Wednesday in Billings, Montana. We're one of the featured presenters on day two when it was all about the sugar beet industry was Rebecca Larson, and she's the chief scientist for Western Sugar, and you were in town to give folks an update on the GMO situation with the U.S. sugar beet industry.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here to be able to explain to folks what consumer sentiment is around GMOs, how safe they are to consume, and how they benefit the environment.
You know, let's delve into that a little bit more because this new technology that's been available for these U.S. sugar beet growers, like those out here in the Rocky Mountain West and Northern Plains, it has changed the way they do business on the farm, and it's all for the benefit, and it's a positive change.
Yeah, sugar beets are all produced by small family farmers, and this technology has really revolutionized things for them. It's allowed them to use fewer, safer chemicals. It's allowed them to use less water. It's allowed them to use less land because yields have gone up dramatically.
You know, what else were some of the highlights in your presentation this week to these guys that this is how they make their living, and I think their message to consumers is the sugar they consume is as safe as it's ever been.
Yeah, and they've got fantastic stories to tell. The environmental benefit and sustainability when using this technology is outstanding, and they cannot be afraid to share that story. And the great news is at the end of the day, after refining, there's no DNA or protein left in the sugar, so it's exactly the same as what we sold 100 years ago.
So what do we need to do to kind of maybe turn the tide about all this misinformation about there regarding biotechnology or GMOs, whatever the language you want to use? What do growers and other producers need to do to help educate those consumers out there that the food they're eating is still the safest in the world?
I think the biggest thing that they can do is tell the environmental benefit story. Most people are making their buying decisions about food because they want to do what's right for the environment. And if they understand the sustainability and the environmental benefits behind the technology, they'll understand and accept that technology in the long run.
You know, and lastly, I just want to remind folks who are watching and listening that, I mean, the sugar beet industry, and you folks at Western Sugar, it is a huge economic engine or driver, if you will, for states like Montana and Wyoming that provide good paying jobs and support Main Street businesses.
Absolutely. Every bag of beet sugar that's purchased is putting dollars right back into a small family farmer's hands, and those dollars reverberate through all these small towns in Montana.
Well, we appreciate you coming out here to Montana and Wyoming. Again, Rebecca Larson, the chief scientist with Western Sugar. Now these messages.